All right, let's walk through creating basically a buyer CMA. So we're going to do create new, and we're going to choose buyer. So find the perfect property for your buyer clients or create a CMA on a potential property. I'll select that one and do continue. I'm going to just do the default buyer template right here, which will have all of the typical report side-by-side comparison pages. Depending on your region, you might have some luxury options here. We're just going to do the default one. Say create. And so along the top, we have the different sections of the CMA. It's going to be the same for seller CMA, where first we go over the subject property right here. You can see I can type in the listing LMS or the zip code, write some remarks, optional drive time. If we wanted to do a starting location to this one, we'll talk more about that in the buyer tour. But I just grabbed an MLS. I'm just going to import in. You need to not have that at the beginning. So if it ever shows up an error, that's usually why it just wants the number. It's going to take a second, but it should upload that new image, the remarks. Unless it's not our listing. There we go. Here we go. And so that's all we need to do for the subject property. Now I'm going to click continue. The next step, we're now in the search category, is we can now look for some comparables for this property. We have this right here is one sold. I can get some details. I'm going to look into it. If I had done the drive time, I could pull that up. Then I can exit out and say I want to add it. I can always change my mind and get rid of it, but we'll add it. If I know some MLS numbers of some comparable listings that I want to add in here, I could move over to that and put that in. I can also search using drive time from this main listing if I wanted to. Maybe I want to bump it up to 30 minutes and see if that makes a difference. Might not. Minimum price to maximum price. So what if I said 700 to do 9? Apply. Okay, that didn't do any results. Maybe we'll just bump this down a little bit. There we go. So this one's back. And then I can kind of leave this more open-ended, just 2 to, 5. Just kind of opened up a few more options here with not limiting that bedroom. And so then I can, of course, just look at them. This is going to show that this is the target listing right here. That's obviously going to be in. But then we could go through and we could just add a few more. Grab a pending. And we'll just start with that. Also filters over here. This is where you could do condo, townhouse. Square foot is pretty specific, as well as the acreage here. Year built. Some other features, pool, virtual tour, depending on what filters you want, these are your options. And now that I have 4, it's going to show me up here I have 4. I'm going to move on down here to the listing page. Here we can see our listings page. So it's going to tell us the active, we have 1 pending, and we have 3 sold. It's also going to give us a little summary over here. This is our subject property, and then these are different comps that we pulled in for it. Square footage, price, square foot. So if I'm not liking what I'm seeing, I can simply remove and then go back to search and pull in other or add more listings, do it that way. You can change the order by, so price low to high. Maybe I want, active to sold, and then I want to go over here and do price low to high. So I can arrange it like that if I wanted to, and then for each listing, I can have my listing details here or edit the remarks if I need to. The copy to custom listing or replace with custom listing, if for some reason there was something off, typically we mainly hear of square footage because of maybe a basement issue. You can replace with a custom listing and then fix the square footage to more accurately reflect the livable square footage. Removing the basement or adding the basement square footage in there to make this comp more accurate. And then add or edit adjustment. If there was some sort of amount adjustment, you can add that in there. So once we're happy with our listings and our comps, we're going to move over to the estimate page. And here it's going to give us pricing stats. These are all based off of sold. You can see right here it says sold. So if you don't have any sold comparables that you're using, these are all going to show up as blank. So just be aware of that. It's not a glitch. You just need some sold comparables in order for these pricing stats to happen. It's then going to give an estimated price. You can change it or create a range and write some comments. So as you're putting this together, you're putting the comps together, you're telling them the price that you think, and then you can either do that range or the remarks. If maybe you're saying, hey, but we want to request that they fix this issue first or something like that. Then we're in our page section here. So we're in web view right now. That's our live view where comps will change if, maybe it was pending and it moved to sold or anything like that. And we have our pages here that you could just go through, subject property. Any pages you can get rid of. Maybe we don't need this because we have this one, so I'm just gonna, I like how the map looks better, so I'll get rid of that one. Side-by-side comparison, maybe I want that above the map. You can just click and drag to move any of them around. And then we also have this edit button. If any of them have an edit button, that means there's some things and it's gonna tell you print only. But there's just some things that you can edit about these different pages, which we go into more detail in the introduction to the tool model, but we can see comparable features. I can get rid of any that I don't think is, necessary. And so then you can just rearrange the pages to what you want. You can add page by creating a new, if you have a PDF that you use or that the marketing concierge service uses for you. Add that in, add from the library. We have our partner pages, that's buy side, so that's more for listings. And then the brokerage pages here. We have a bunch for the seller. And then we have a bunch for the buyer as well. So you can kind of look through here and see if there's any that you really like. You can kind of preview the page by just clicking on it. That's just a header page or notes. I choose Alan Tate, first in the Carolinas. If there's anything here that you want to add in, you can just do that and just add it in right here. I'll just show you where it gets added. And then if we click up here, we can go back to our presentations, or we can always click up here to get back to where we need to go. And then here we have first in the Carolinas. I can get rid of that if I want. Once this is put together, you can always save this as a template. So if you have the pages in the order that you want it to go and the pages that you want in, you can then save this template to use for future buyer CMAs so that all you're doing is putting in the property and the comps, and then this is all ready to go. Then we can easily view it to show clients here, view it live or in that PDF form, or we can send it to them as well after we've sat down and talked through it right there.